Fortunately, Larry reveals that BlackRock is still investing more in reliable energy sources than unreliable ones. Why? Well, because that's what BlackRock's clients are demanding. Some of you may have heard that many individuals and institutions threatened to divest because of its ESG stance, and indeed some of them did. But that just scratches the surface of BlackRock's hypocrisy. Larry claims that green energy sources make countries less reliant on foreign powers. This could not be further from the truth. China produces 90% of the materials required for these energy sources. That makes every green energy grid reliant on the CCP. Makes you wonder who's really pulling the strings at BlackRock. Now, in the next part of his letter, Larry reveals how BlackRock is transforming itself. For starters, it's working with a global infrastructure firm called Global Infrastructure Partners, or GIP, which Larry seems to have personal connections to. We will definitely do a video about them at some point. Next, Larry plans on visiting more countries and meeting with more of our leaders to convince them that BlackRock's game plan is the way to go. Though he doesn't say it explicitly, he seems to suggest that BlackRock's increase in assets under management came from foreign sources as a result of his lobbying. In case you missed the news, BlackRock oversees over $10 trillion worth of assets and counting. To put things into perspective, this would make BlackRock the third largest country by GDP. It's also enough money to buy almost half of the US stock market, but BlackRock already has enough voting shares to influence it. Larry notes that the company will continue investing in early-stage ventures, and I'll remind you that BlackRock had invested in failed crypto exchange FTX. I'll also remind you that it's a large shareholder in many Bitcoin mining companies, which, together with its ETFs, could influence BTC. More about that in the description. I digress. Now, here is where things get really interesting. Seemingly out of the blue, Larry notes that, quote, "As we look ahead, the re-risking of client portfolios will create tremendous prospects for both our public and private markets franchises." This is interesting because Larry noted in 2023 that investors were de-risking. Logically, this suggests that BlackRock believes that the markets will go up this year, since re-risking likely means moving from bonds into stocks. So far, this prediction has been on point, yet again. I suppose that's to be expected given that BlackRock can advise the companies it's invested in on how to beat estimates. And this ties into what BlackRock plans to do with the companies it can influence via its voting shares. As expected, Larry is rather vague about this, hinting that BlackRock will keep doing what it's doing, pushing ESG.